What's going on, guys? PXCam20 back in with a brand new video. We are on iRacing today doing some stock car racing here at Michigan International Speedway. Doing pretty well around here. This is actually my second race around this track on this car, so was starting to get a little bit faster in my pace, trying to get things up to grip as I haven't raced around in iRacing in a while. But let's see what we can do here. Before we jump into the race, if you guys really enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. Anyways, that is enough promoting myself. Let's jump straight into this race. Jumping into qualifying now, we shift the car all the way to the inside as we cross the start finish line to get our first flyer. Coming out turn number 4, we headed back down to the inside, as that is the best way to get the maximum amount of time here. And as we wait for our time, we get a 40.494, so far good for a pole, but not fast enough. I believe the fastest time right now was a 40.2. So on our second lap, we try to get a faster lap time, but unfortunately we weren't able to improve it too much, and we were only good enough to get in a 12th place here. And we are now going to be starting on the outside when we get the green flag. So on a warm-up lap here, this is going to be a 25 lap race. Don't have to refuel the car, and don't have to replace the tires unless if you spin out. But we're going to have to be very patient here, as the tire wear is really bad as we get our green flag now. Getting onto the race here, we cross the start finish line and we're able to get an easy overtake right off the bat, as 11th got a really bad start. And we go into turn number 1 very patiently. Again, we're going to have to go fast, but also manage our tires here, since we don't have to come into the pits. The tire wear does drastically decrease around lap number 13 and 14. So we're going to see what we can do here as we now go into turn number 3 after the back straight. Onto turn number 3, we get overtaken by the 16 car, and he does slide up a little bit, gets a little bit loose in the middle of the corner, and he goes down to the bottom of the racetrack. Luckily he saved it, and we are able to regain 11th place away from him now. So it's just setting our sights on these guys up ahead, just making sure that we hit our marks, and hopefully we don't get caught up in any accidents here as we now go into turn number 3. Onto turn number 4 now. The 20 car right ahead of us gets a little bit loose as he goes onto the inside, comes back onto the racetrack, takes out about 3 or 4 cars in our rearview mirror, and that was very, very close. As we jump into the replay here, the 20 car on turn number 4 just gets very loose, slides it right back onto the top of the racetrack, and the 5 car had nowhere to go, takes out about 3 or 4 competitors there. As we jump into the replay on the 5, just was not going to end well right there, as the 20 car just went straight into his front, and somehow we were able to get through that unscathed and continue on with our race. So this is really good for us. We do have a gaggle of cars right ahead of us, but right behind we do have about a second gap to the 12th place car, so we don't have to worry about anybody coming up from our rear. So if we just manage our tires again, just stay patient, some of these guys up ahead might make a couple mistakes and start losing tire wear. So we should be able to hopefully gather it up and see if we can make some overtakes now. So lap number 6 goes around. We are heading into turn number 1. You can see that we're closing the gap up to 10th as we sail it into turn number 1 and turn number 2. It's a little bit tricky, this track. You don't want to go past that first groove right there. So you can see there's lines on the track, and on turn number 3 and turn number 1, you don't want to get the car below that first line, as it just disrupts the car. Not sure why. I think it's because it's just progressive banking, but you can see everybody runs about 2 lanes high, and a couple of cars are actually going a little bit higher into turn number 1 and 2, as things are starting to get a little bit interesting up ahead, almost going 3 wide up there. We're catching up to the 23 car of the 10 or in 10th place right here, as we now go down to the straight, leading us into turn number 3. Staying right behind the 23 car, there's a little bit of smoke. Did have to check up a little bit, but nothing really happened. I think it was a glitch. So we just continue on forward as we get a really great run off of turn number 4. On the inside of the 23 car, it's going to go side by side as we head into turn number 1. And let's see if we can complete the overtake now, as we're going to try to keep it on the throttle as long as we can going to the corner. And there we go. We're able to secure a top 10 finishing so far. So now we set our sights on the 17 car right ahead of us, and let's see if we can make up the gap and make an overtake on him. Lap number 10 comes around here. The tires are starting to feel a little bit bad, but there's a car that goes off onto the outside, goes into the wall, spins out, And look at how close it was for us, as we almost got taken out by the spinning red car. And we got very, very lucky there. So 2 times in a row, luck has been on our side. And look at this now. We get a great run on the 18 cars. I think he checked up because of that spinning car. And we are now holding off onto the inside. Get a little bit tight going into the corner. Push him up a little bit wide. And that was my fault right there. I was really trying to hold the car together. And I just came up with a little too much momentum. Pushed him out. And I had to apologize after the race for that. Because, like I said, that was not a clean move. So we just have to continue on with the race. We are up into 8th place, but we do have a huge gap right ahead of us to 7th. But up ahead, there's a car in the wall, and he's staying up in the wall as he spins out right in front of us, goes straight down to the apron, and somehow, again, 3rd time in a row, we were able to get past some incident that was happening right ahead of us, and that gives us an easy 7th position now. So just luck is just being all over on our side. And somehow we are finding ourselves in 7th place, as we do still have a gap from us to 6th. So let's see if we can close up the gap here as we now jump into lap number 13. The car right behind us is gaining time. As you can see, he's on our rear view mirror, and he's actually almost close enough to make an overtake, as the 5th place driver actually gets a little bit loose. Going into turn number 3 here, the A car goes very wide into the corner, tries to arc it in, goes onto the bottom of that first line, and you can see he's going to lose a lot of momentum coming out turn number 4 as we get into the slipstream. Go onto the inside here. We got a great run onto the inside, go down to the apron. He tries to force us low, but we fight our way down to turn number 1. Try to sail it into here, make sure that we can hold our line so we don't go shifting up. It's still side by side, but we were able to muscle our way through, and we are now promoted into 6th place ahead of the A car, as the 23 car right behind us takes advantage of that as well, and he's going to try to make the overtake going into turn number 3. So arcing it in, taking a very wide line into the entrance of turn number 3. We try to sail it into the middle part of the track, but we just didn't have enough tire grip to push the car more towards the inside. And now we are getting pressured from behind by the 23 cars. We go side by side to the line on lap number 15 now. What's going to happen here as we go into the first corner? We're just staying on the outside, trying to give him plenty of room. And it's still side by side as we head into turn number 2. On the outside here, we should be able to get the better run when we go down the straight. And you can see that's what happens here, as the 23 car did have to slide up the racetrack. So we were able to get a really good defensive move there, try to hold our position. And now let's see if we can try to catch up to 5th, 4th, and 3rd, as 1st and 2nd have now pulled away and are in command of this race. So a little bit more forward into the race once again on lap number 16, heading back onto the straight. Almost the same scenario as a couple of laps previous, as the 23 car gets a very great run off of turn number 2. He's on our inside going into turn number 3, and he might be able to complete the overtake here, as we're just going to let him go through. Don't want to race him too much here, because I don't want to wear out our tires even more, as we still have about 10 laps left in this race. We have the green car right behind us, and he's getting a very great run also. So he's been watching us fight, so I'm pretty sure he's been just being very patient and just making sure that he takes care of his tires, as he can probably go for a late charge in the last 5 to 4 laps here on this race. So flip-flopping once again with the 23 car. We go onto the inside and try to make the move that he did, but we get a very awful exit off of turn number 2, and that's just inviting that 10 car right behind us on our outside. He's going to try to see if he can make an overtake on the outside. He should be able to get good momentum middle of the corner and on the exit, but it just goes a little bit too wide, and he had to back out of there as we now jump up into lap number 19. So on lap number 19, we're still having this good side-by-side battle with the 23 car, and we just haven't been able to get away from each other, as we're able to make another overtake off of turn number 2. Sliding right in front of him, we're going to see if we can take the normal racing line going to turn number 3 and 4, and you can see we're able to do it there as we now jump up into lap number 21. So on 21, 23 car once again goes onto the inside, deja vu, and we're just going to hold it off onto the outside, as right ahead of us there's a little bit of trouble going on. The red and green car makes contact with the wall, shifts it onto the inside, goes underneath the white line, and goes back onto the track. So this is going to be very interesting, since he's on the inside of the track. The 23 car is still trying to make the overtake on our inside, as the green and red car slides up to the top of the racetrack now. 23 gets a really bad exit, and now we have a clear space to try to make the overtake on the damaged 12 car right ahead of us as he's starting to limp his way around this racetrack. On the outside, attempting a cutback going into turn number 2 as the 12 car goes a little bit wide on the middle section of the corner. We get a great exit, shift it onto the inside, give him plenty of room. And this should be an easy 5th place for us since, again, the 12 car did make contact with the wall. He should be limping around this track with damaged right side. And there you go. We're now up into the top 5 with just 3 laps to go. Can we hold it off away from the 23 car and the 10 car right behind us? So going down to the straight, we're going to jump up into lap number 24. And only 2 laps left on this race. The tires are feeling pretty bad right now at this point of the race as the 10 car is starting to make his charge here. So remember I said he was just watching us in the 23 car flip-flop, just saving his tires. And this is now where the 10 car's tires are really starting to shine as he makes a easy move onto the inside. We're going side by side, going down to the straight. On the final lap now, we are going to see if we can attempt another cutback in the middle of the corner. As he takes a very narrow entrance, we make the cutback, go onto the inside off of the corner, but we're underneath that line right there as we go very, very loose right there off of the corner. And now we are getting pressured by the 23 car right behind us as it's starting to turn into a 3-car battle for the 5th place position. Going to turn number 3, we're holding off onto the inside and see if we can get a great exit so we can try to at least go into a drag race with the 10 car as the 23 goes straight into the wall. Coming off of turn number 4, we lose momentum, and the 10 car is able to hold off that 5th place position, and we get a 6th place for our 2nd race here at Michigan. So not too shabby, starting off in 12th, pushing our way up, avoiding all the wreck and all the chaos that was happening right ahead of us, and we get a 6th place position here at Michigan. So very, very fun racing I had around. It's a really good change of pace, especially compared to GT Sport, as these cars are a lot more heavier and a lot more throttle sensitive. So it's a very new animal to try to tackle on. And I've been having a lot of fun, especially with the close side-by-side clean racing that I've been having with some of these guys here. So let me know what you guys thought about this race. Leave it in the comments down below. If you guys really enjoy the content, once again, please subscribe and leave a like on the video as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. And if you guys want to check me out on the Twitters or on Instagram, feel free to look for all that information in the description down below. And if you guys really enjoy the content, I really hope to see you guys on the next one. Peace out.